you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in.
Hello, everyone. This is Ray Renati, and you have reached Green Room on Air, a subsidiary of Green Room Radio, the most prominent green room radio station in the world. Hey, you know what? Today, I had a chat, well, actually a few days ago, I'm putting it up now, with two prominent theater women in the San Francisco Bay Area, Cristina Anselmo and Neva Hutchinson. I happen to be performing with Neva this coming weekend, Sunday and Monday, at the Dragon Theater in a play called Love Letters by A.R. Gurney. Cristina is our director. So that's coming up in just a second. Before that, I'd like to remind you, if you have any friends who like podcasts, or friends who need to like podcasts, or friends who you think might like podcasts, please direct them to this podcast. I need more listeners. I've got quite a few, but I can never have enough because I want to have a sponsor soon so that I can help cover some of my costs here. So I need more listeners. So if you could tell your friends, put it on social media, link to it on social media, and most importantly, go to Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts and give me a fair and honest review. I would be so appreciative. Thank you very much. Let's get right to this. Let me tell you a little bit about our guests today. First, we have Cristina Anselmo, our director. Her directing credits include You Are My Sunshine and Homesick for the Alma Theater Company. She's directed numerous student production at ACT's Young Conservatory. She's appeared on stage at the Jewel Theater, SF Playhouse, Capitol Stage, Stanford Summer Rep, Theatreworks, Pacific Rep, and a bunch of other theaters. She's an excellent actress and an excellent director. I am so fortunate to know her and to be able to work with her. She attended Lambda in England, and she has a BA from Santa Clara University. That's right. Great lady, very talented. And Neva Hutchinson, my cohort in the play. She's performed in over 60 productions here in the Bay Area and on the East Coast. She's had the opportunity to work with Francis Ford Coppola himself, Will Smith, Jon Voight, Lee Sankiewicz, and Libby Appel. That's right. I'm not sure how to say that. A-P-E-L. How come I don't know Libby? Her favorite roles are Sally in By the Waters of Babylon by Robert Schenken and Sister Amy in Raptured, The Disappearance and Discovery of Amy Semple McPherson. And she didn't put it on her bio here that I'm sort of reading to you, but she wrote that play and I directed it, about 7-8 months ago, and it was a lot of fun and a great play. So I'm very fortunate to be working with these two women of the theater. And let's just get right to it. Here we are with Cristina and Neva. Well, here we are. I'm here with Cristina Anselmo and Neva Hutchinson. And we're doing the play Love Letters by A.R. Gurney. This is your idea, right, Neva?
It was my idea, Ray. I called you up and you were in your car, and I said, how about if we do Love Letters? And you said, yes. Just like that.
Did I really?
Yes, you did.
Good.
And then I said, have you read it? And you said no.
But I knew all about it because
Yes.
I remember how popular it was.
It was very popular.
Years ago.
It ran on Broadway, and actors would go in and do it for 6 weeks, and then they'd have a new actor come in and do it for another 6-week run. It's basically done with a script in front of you, which is why it's so unusual. And one of the things that attracted me to it, along with the personalities of the two characters.
Yeah, it's not common that you can actually do a play with the script in front of you like that. And have it come off.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's why we decided we needed a director.
Yes.
Cristina Anselmo.
Yes, and Cristina, tell us about yourself.
Well,
how you happened upon this.
I got a text from Neva saying, call me, text me. And But she had said Neva had said Ray knows you and he had recommended you. And Ray and I have known each other for a while now. Because the last thing we worked on was You Are My Sunshine.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
Which is actually in the script. It's actually mentioned, right?
Oh,
Isn't
my
that funny?
gosh.
You're right. There's
I didn't make the connection.
I know. So maybe the next play we do together, there's going to be a little love letters. There'll be a little reference to that.
Yeah.
So I had co-directed something. I was brought on by Tim.
Yeah.
Tim Fullerton had suggested. So that's how we finally got to work with each other. We've known each other as friends for a while, but we had never. I don't think we'd ever worked on anything together.
I don't think so.
That's right.
No.
But
Yeah.
But you and Neva have known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
We have.
From starting the Pair
That's right.
Theater years ago, 16, 17 years ago, something like that?
Correct.
Yeah.
I
And you
was
just-
one of the founding members, as was Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And I also worked with the playwrights group. And out of that came a play that I wrote that Ray directed for me.
And that
last
was just last year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was a lot of fun.
It was great. It was called Raptured, The Disappearance and Discovery of Amy Semple McPherson. And we did it at the Phoenix.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
San
nice.
A
Oh,
Francisco.
it's
true
a Phoenix.
story.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You know, I went down to L.A. a few weeks ago, and I wanted to go to the church that she
Oh, the
started, but I
Foursquare
couldn't.
Temple
We didn't have
Church.
time. It takes so long to get anywhere in L.A.
It does. Does anyone know anyone in LA?
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
from
that's a
LA.
lie. It's crazy. I went to go meet some people that I went to school with in England, and they were over in Hollywood, and we were like over like Laguna Beach or something. It was only like 10 miles. I
It's
think.
longer than that.
No, it wasn't Laguna Beach. It was Newport, or it was only 10. Like it was 10 miles.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Okay,
That was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was Santa Monica. And they said, "Oh no!" Because someone suggested that they meet me over there or go halfway. He's like, "This guy is like, no way! I'm not going all the way over there." I'm like, "What are they talking about? It's only 10 miles." And then I looked on Google Maps. It took an hour and a half.
Oh,
Oh, my.
yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is crazy. Well, for most actors, I know their plan in their mind, the best plan would be to live in San Francisco and work out of LA. Get called for auditions
Good
in
luck.
LA.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But it's too
Good luck
hard to
living in
commute.
San
It's too hard to
Francisco.
take that plane to Burbank, the car,
And the agents don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal
Right.
with someone who's not in town. Or are they going to make it or not? You know, they got plenty
Exactly.
of people to choose from down there, right? Yeah.
right.
So what does that say about Love Letters, the play?
Let's talk about what I want to know from you, Neva. What sparked your interest in that? I mean, I think that like with playwriting, when we're reading plays, we always say, why is this person? Why on this day did this happen? Or why does somebody walk in a room and say this? Why does somebody need this at this particular moment? So why, as an actor, as an artist, why did this one stand out to you?
Well, I think this play really resonated with me because of the relationship between the two and how it was based on writing. It was based on letter writing. And with every letter that is written in this play, you're wondering, is their relationship going to continue? Is it going to grow deeper? Is it going to go away? There's a suspense that he builds in, A.R. Gurney builds into his plays.
Yeah, I agree. You don't know what's going to happen in this relationship from moment to moment, but you guess as an audience member, I would think. Although I'm
And
not
you
in the
hope.
audience. You hope. And he also does a really good job of setting the audience up with some real drama, but then also a lot of humor in the first part, and then it gets to be, I don't want to give anything away, but it gets to be
Bittersweet.
more bittersweet in part two, let's say.
Well,
Yeah.
how different is it from our email? I mean, that's now it's not just email, it's texting.
Right.
And where with a letter, I mean, I suppose with Facebook or when you're with Facebook, there's this false sense of community at times because we know what's going on with people, but we're not necessarily corresponding just to them. So we don't have We don't have pictures to go along with traditional letter writing. We have a gap in time. We have to have somebody who is expressing themselves in complete sentences, using a variety of words, not shortening them, and I'm
abbreviating them.
I'm not passing judgment. I'm the first one to not punctuate in my text,
And it's not public.
and it's not public. But I'm just seeing like what have we lost? I know that I have a box full of letters. When I used to, I spent my junior year abroad in Florence, and I have all the letters that my family and my friends wrote to me, and I still keep them. I still have all these letters.
How lovely.
Well, yeah, and I because it was expensive, and they were on aerograms because it was cheaper.
Right.
And I was there long enough ago that long distance was not cheap. I mean, kids, there was no internet. Obviously, there was no internet. There was no, it's so different.
The visual is missing. On Facebook, you have a visual usually. And with letter writing, the visual's in your mind. It's in your imagination of what the person means, what they look like when they were writing it, what mood they were in, what they're surrounded by. All of that is built up in your mind. And the characters run into that, sort of embrace that problem at a certain point in the script of knowing each other through these letters, but then in real life having some discomfort being with each other.
Yeah, especially when some time had passed and they went through adolescence and were moving into adulthood and all this, and then they tried to spend time with each other and it wasn't quite what they had imagined.
Yeah.
Right.
But they worked through that.
They did.
I wonder if people write letters anymore, if there are people who write letters on purpose, just so they can keep that intimacy, to keep I would like to write letters. I don't know who I'd write them to.
I have someone that I write letters to who's not my husband.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
Let's hear more.
It's a guy. He and I write each other letters. And there's something in the play Love Letters where you talk about your wife Jane and how she's looking over your shoulder. And sometimes I worry that that's what's happening with me, that someone's looking over my shoulder because of what I'm saying to this person. He and I have known each other for a while, for about 35 years. And
great. So you do write letters then still?
I do.
Yeah. Wonderful. I don't think I've written a letter in 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, a real letter. I've written, in greeting cards, I've written notes.
Christmas cards.
Yeah. I don't know that I've taken a piece of stationery and written a letter.
Yeah. I like sending cards, but certainly I'm not a full-fledged letter. I think that what I'll write is jot a few notes. I think that I have some relatives that are older, and I'm not sure if they're on the internet, so I don't have their email, so I send them something. I love getting stuff in the mail.
I know, it's exciting.
I do. It's really exciting.
It
I mean,
is.
if you get an envelope where somebody wrote on it by hand and you can tell, and it's kind of thick, like there's 2 or 3 pieces of paper in there.
It is.
And they wrote a letter to you. I mean,
It's very exciting.
I'm going to do that just to make somebody happy.
I know. It's exciting.
But you could write them to yourself if you were really weird, but that would be strange.
I guess.
Well, one thing I like to do is send out Valentines.
Oh, there you go.
I love Valentine's.
I still do. I still send Valentines. I send them to my agent. I send them to people I don't think will normally get a Valentine.
I don't think you've ever sent me a Valentine.
I haven't. I just assumed you had
you better.
Valentines coming through your door, a plethora of Valentines.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think I'm off personalized greetings because there was a while that I used to do little hand painted little watercolor drawings for Christmas cards, but I found that it was very involved. And I finally figured out with all the glitter and the cutting and the all the embellishments, it took like an hour a card just to make them.
Oh my!
I thought, oh no, people were just probably throwing these away. They probably thought that I bought them, so I kind of abandoned them. But I still love getting something in I love getting something in the mail.
Next time, just put handmade by Cristina and Anselmo. Please do not throw away for the next 90 days.
Send it back if you don't like it.
Do not
Oversized.
throw
Yeah,
away
send
for
it
the
back and I
next-
can use it next year.
For the next 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do you think so? There are a few plays that have been done in this way, and I've enjoyed them all.
Yeah, you
the
said
other
that
one,
you
well,
worked
there's the vagina monologues,
Yeah.
of course, which is also required to be done with the script in front of you.
What I Wore.
What I Wore.
What
yes.
I
Who
right?
wrote that? Yeah,
I thought
think
it
so.
was that the screenwriter? Was it the oh God, Ephron? Was it Nora Ephron?
I think so.
Or her sister? I can't remember.
I have to look it
Yeah,
up.
but I saw that. Or
Yeah.
the little black dress? No, what was it called? I think it was called What I Wore.
I think so.
Something
I think
about
it's What I Wore.
Something about what I yeah.
I don't know.
And then you said you worked on
The Guys, which was a play about 9/11, a fire captain who had to write eulogies for his men and other people's men, and it's a true story. And he went to a woman who was a writer that he heard about at a party, and the play is their meetings. And it's supposed to be read, but it's not required to be read. And so I did it with Diane Tasca, and we actually memorized it, which I think was better that way. But it had traditionally been read in the same way as love letters by celebrities on Broadway who were movie stars or TV stars and didn't have a lot of time to rehearse, and done in small theaters usually. So it's called The Guys, and that's another one. Those are the only ones I know of. I'm sure there are more.
One thing that surprised me on this was how much we've been rehearsing it.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I thought, and I think I said to both of you, we'll just meet 2 or 3 times and then we'll do it. Right. But as we've started working on it, we've been discovering things in the character that have been really nice, and things in the plot. And so it's been fun to work on it.
I'm glad we've done it a number of times. Every time I do it, it changes.
Yes.
For both of us, right?
Right.
And
I'm glad too.
Yeah.
It takes some stamina. I mean, the first act is 40. Today was 47, and then the second act is 38. But it's just the two of you, and there's a lot. There's some fairly big speeches, and because we're not having you move around. We're not seeing the physical information of what you're doing with your body in order to tell the story. It's a radio play, essentially. All those things, all that, the inflection, the tone, the pace, all those oral, those sonic, elements have to be absolutely exploited, right? And it's a marathon. I mean, the two of you are talking. It's not just a line or two here. It's real letters. Some of them are postcards, but some of them are really quite lengthy. So yeah, I think it's been good just for you to, because we've mostly just been running it. We've been working sections of it at time, but in general, it's been runs, right? And I think it's been helpful for this particular piece.
To get the arc of it. I think it's been really important.
Yeah, and I like the longer letters. From an acting standpoint, it's fun to find the different colors and pace within the letter, and so that the audience can, not hear it as just one long speech, but can hear the different emotions or tones, or what you want as the character, what you want the other person to feel when they're reading that specific letter.
Yeah, theirs is a complicated relationship. It's they have known each other since childhood, and so to see the twists and turns is great. And Gurney is funny. He's very funny.
He is. He also had a list at the beginning of the script and a list at the end of the script of what he didn't want the actors to do, which was very interesting to me.
I really enjoyed that. I love it to read stuff like that when playwrights are so into their play that they have specific instructions about how you walk on stage, how you walk off stage.
There should be no music played before the show.
Yeah,
I think that for the most part, I can live with all those. I think for the most, it's sensible. I think most of them are sensible. I think we're
think so.
pushing the boundaries in a couple of them. Did you hear about that stipulation that David Mamet has for no after?
No, I
Some of
haven't heard
some of
this.
his plays some of his plays he doesn't want theaters to have talkbacks.
Really?
Oh, yes, I've read that.
Is that right?
Why is that?
I have no
wonder?
idea. Anyways, he doesn't go that far. Gurney doesn't go that. I guess that, well, Gurney, rest in peace, has been gone for a couple of years. So
Well, it seems like they're still protecting his plays, which is good, I think.
that's good. That's great.
Yeah, Mamet is very much into. Did you read his book on acting? Mm-hmm. I mean, he thinks actors shouldn't act. They should just literally go up there and just say the lines.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
acting. I mean, I
yeah.
understand what he's saying to an extent, but I think he goes a little far.
Yeah,
with
he's
that.
really sounds like he's really fallen in favor. I mean, the last several plays of his, I have not done well.
No.
He's become, he's been very, very conservative. Hey, it's unusual in the theater, but it's absolutely his prerogative. But I don't think the quality of his plays is anything like what the days of Glengarry. No, they don't even come close.
No.
Which is too bad because he's at his best. He's brilliant. There's no
Oh
doubt
my
about
gosh,
it.
yes.
So brilliant.
Glenn Ross is just an amazing play. And what's the one I directed? Oh God, I forgot the name. With the three people, the two movie executives and the secretary.
Speed the Plow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speed the
Yeah.
Plow.
I love that play.
Yeah.
That's a good play.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
His plays are hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
language is
Oh,
just
yeah.
insane. I mean, it's great when you get it, but
Well, there's some language in this play that he uses. The way he uses his language and the threes, as the director pointed out, Cristina pointed out, the use of threes, the use of the commas.
Yeah.
There are some things that are 5 lines long without a period until the very end.
Yes.
And you just have commas in between to breathe on.
I know.
It
I
is
always
sort of
make sure I fill up my diaphragm. Like, okay, here we go.
There
Here's
is
the line.
definitely a melody to this. There's
Yeah.
definitely a sense with the ebb and flow of these letter chunks, these sections. You can definitely feel it, and you feel those punchlines too.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel the button to that conversation with many of them.
Well,
not
often,
everywhere.
Often the lines are written, in these long lines, 2 or 3 lines long without a break, and then there's a short sentence with, a period, and then another short sentence with a period, and he did that on purpose because those are separate thoughts that he wants you to get across to the audience in a different way, or more consciously maybe. Seems like the longer sentences are more just like free flow of your mind onto the paper, and then, but this is what I really want you to know.
Well, he also, with my character, with Melissa, he'll sneak in an important detail in one sentence in the middle of the speech. For instance, she loses her children to her husband at one point, and she just throws that in there in the middle of talking about going to California or different things.
That's one of the big differences, I think, between our two characters is you, Melissa, playing Melissa, she just inserts those really life-changing events in the middle of how are you doing? You went, how's Christmas? And then blah, blah, blah. My husband took my kids, and then on to the next thing.
Exactly.
Whereas I sort of stop and make sure that you heard what I said or read what I wanted you to read. You just kind of gloss over everything.
Right.
Which
But
is a big difference in our personalities, I think.
It is a big difference in the personalities, and it provides a dichotomy almost of counter rhythm of what you were saying about rhythm. There's a rhythm to the whole piece, and then we each have an individual rhythm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anything else?
I don't know. I like I like discovering what's different about this generation too. I mean, they're both born in the 30s, right? We're actors living in California, so we have a very different take on relationships, but male-female relationships. But we we're asking our audience to come into this very waspy East Coast, two fairly well-to-do people who are both born in the 30s and went to prep schools, and despite the money and the prestige that both of them come into or born into, they still have the same problems that everybody else. It's like love and relationships and making connections. I think that the two of them have just such a great lifeline. It's not easy. It's a very choppy course, but they really are always trying to connect with the other.
Yeah. But they never quite can, except for a very short period of time.
But the caring they have for each other is throughout the whole play.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, people are people, no matter what class they come from, or religion, or race. We all share things in common, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Rich or poor. All right.
Well, thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Well, there you have it. Neva Hutchinson and Cristina Anselmo and moi chatting about the theater. What more could you want in life? Hey, thanks so much for listening. It's sweltering here in Palo Alto, California, where I am recording this right now. It's almost 100 degrees. I think it's almost 100 degrees in parts of San Francisco. It's over 100 inland on the East Bay of San Francisco. Yikes. Global warming. Or what do they call it? Not global warming, climate change. Anyway, I hope y'all have a great weekend. And remember, keep your pants on. And until next time, I will see you on the boards. Goodbye, everybody.
When you're weary